I ask for the truth on behalf of Akyra concerning professional and love issues. And I ask this, we ask for guidance and insight in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth always. Right then, Akyra, we'll place the cards to the side and we'll deal out 3 cards in a spread of past, present and future. So the first card we deal, of course, is the past. Now the past in this particular case is about a moon phase behind. It's about 3 or 4 weeks or so ago. A recent past influence. And then, of course, the present influence is here now, so that's Akyra Allen there just right now doing what she's doing with her love and her professionalism there, right now. And then, of course, Akyra Allen in the immediate future, well, what will she be doing in the next 3 or 4 weeks or so? And, of course, maybe if there's guidance here, this will no doubt show it, and we can see what that's about. So I'll just place them there so you can see them about it. Right, we'll part the first card then. The first card represents your recent past, and the meaning or the interpretation of this first card is relevant to the question that you've asked. So it's, of course, you in your recent past, concerning this professional and this love issue that you're on about, and moving and so forth. And this is the energy that's surrounding all that. We're like establishing what's going on, aren't we? So let's just flip the card nice and slow there, not to disturb the energy, so we just take it nice and steady, and then we just see what the card is. And there you've got the energy of the dragon in your recent past, and that's to do with, of course, strength and wisdom. In a way, I suppose I'm sort of getting you have become stronger, you become wiser, literally in that sense. Over the past 3 or 4 weeks or so, something has happened, and you've realised that for as much as you might be young, you're not too young to sort of start experiencing things and whatever. I don't know if you're in a position where you've been there, done it, got the t-shirt just yet, but certainly as you can see, you're in that sort of position, in a sort of state of readiness, I suppose. The dragon, of course, dragons are often revered, aren't they, by the Chinese and things like that, where they sometimes seem to be guarding a pot of gold. Of course, that's probably symbolic for whatever the pot of gold represents, I suppose, whatever it symbolises. Why I'm locking onto the blue, I don't know. I'm locking onto this blue here all of a sudden. I don't normally do that, like a greenish blue, but I'm sort of seeing blue there. Like I say, it is more of a greeny sort of colour, isn't it? But I'm sort of seeing blue, like the blue of the throat chakra. But yeah, it is really more of a green colour. and I suppose a heart chakra sort of colour, but I'm sort of locking on blue. I'm sort of seeing blue for some reason. The blue with the throat chakra is to do with communication, communicating some sort of communicating your strength, maybe having to tell somebody, put somebody in the place, as if you had to tell somebody, you know, you'd do anything for love but you wouldn't do that, or I'd do anything for me career or whatever, me job, and do anything, but I won't do that. I don't know if you've been asked to do more than your job is worth, or something. I don't know. But you're planning on moving, so clearly there's something going on there. So, but either way, regardless of all that, not regardless of, but you know what I mean. Regardless of that, in that sense. You've become stronger and you become wiser because of it. But I still somehow feel as though, although that is greeny sort of heart chakra, now that's I'm focusing on throat chakra, as if you're communicating something. Maybe you're communicating from the heart. I don't know. But I'm sort of seeing the blue where the green is. I'm seeing the blue there. Let's see what. Other colours. I'm going to see yellow where there's red next or something like that. They actually did that on the internet. They said, "What colour is this dress?" It was like a frock a woman was wearing, and everybody had different answers to the colour of it. Very, very strange, that, wasn't it? Let's just see though what is going on right now for you. There from the Treasury, you've got the shield, just indicating that you're safe from harm right now. Nobody's going to be able to get at you, nobody's going to be able to hurt you or harm you. So whatever it is you want to do, feel free to do it, I suppose. You've communicated, you let people know. Why I'm going back to that again, I don't know, but you seem to have let people know how you feel about things and what you think, and of course maybe that itself will protect you, because now they know where they stand. Of course, they might just not try and push you over, in the sense that you're not a pushover. You've let them know that you're not. And we're focusing on the wings. Oh, they've got the shield here. We've got like a winged creature there. Like I'm focusing on that. Why, I don't know. An angel has wings, doesn't it? I suppose it's like the laurel leaf. Laurel leaf. I can't say it. It's terrible. Like a sort of dragon-y sort of wings. But the wings, of course, angels have wings, and I somehow feel, although this is protection, I somehow feel it's an angel that's protecting you, or a spirit, or it could be a relative on the other side, or something like that. Why I'm thinking that, I don't know. I'm just sort of getting that from it, with the wings and the angel just locking onto that, looking at the shield there. Let's just see what is for the immediate future, because you're after advice upon what to do about love and career, aren't we? And so far, I suppose you've told somebody what for, or you've put them in the place or whatever, but nevertheless you become stronger and wiser because of it, and now you're protected because of maybe putting your foot down with a firm hand. I don't know. Let's just see where we're going in the immediate future for you there. More creatures of myth there, and you've got the wyvern, just indicating, really, this just says really your secrets will be safe for the foreseeable future. So whatever maybe I got this feeling as though somebody's been trying to poke the nose into your business, and you've sort of told them, mind your own business, it's got nothing to do with you. She isn't just a pushover. Like a friend of mine was accusing somebody of being a liar and covering things up. And I said, no, it isn't, it's just you being nosy. And then her response says, no, I'm not nosy, he's just not being open. And I thought, well, if that isn't an open admission to being nosy, I don't know what is. And this is a similar sort of thing how it works here with you, in the sense that maybe somebody's poked the nose in and you've not told them, and they're accusing you of not being open, when really it's them being nosy. And of course the messenger there, the wings of the angels, is shielding you. You're protected from harm, in the sense of whatever message is coming from the other side, or coming from, maybe you feel a relative on the other side is going to be watching over you if you move. Oh well, grandma will be pleased, or something should be following me wherever I go, or something like that, you know. And maybe it's that sort of thing, I don't know. But either way, of course, whatever it is somebody wanted to know, let's say that your secrets are safe for the foreseeable future. I want to investigate this further, because you were after advice, weren't you? And yes, we can look at the runes, but I somehow am tempted to, if I can find them on this chair behind me, here. I'm tempted to consult your animal spirits more than that. I think what I'll do just before we do that then, I will just we'll just consult the runes just briefly, just to try and establish what these energies are here. Of course, is that in the way? I think it is. You can't quite see it, can you? I'll just pop it over there. I'll we'll just pull out a rune now, just to see what's been going on concerning the dragon, the strength and wisdom, the fact that maybe you've been putting somebody in the place, telling them somebody what for. Angus, the growth, of course, the fertility rune. I don't know what this is about in that sense, but certainly there's been growth of some kind. With you on about your love life, why do I sort of get this feel? Oh, these funny feelings, you know. I don't know if it's in my water, I don't know what it is, but why do I get this sort of funny feeling, as though somebody's sort of wanted, somebody's asked you to, you know, and have children with you or something like that, and you said, excuse me, but I don't know what that's about, but certainly there's been growth anyway. If it isn't what I've just mentioned, but it probably isn't, then it's probably likely that it's just growth in the normal, natural sort of run-of-the-mill, the sort of natural order of things, in that sort of regard, where becoming, you know, stronger and wiser, of course, means that this is how you're growing spiritually. That probably just clarifies the gaining of strength from a spiritual sort of angle, maybe. But it was just with it being the fertility rune, I just thought I'd push that one trite. Hope I'm wrong. Let's just see what's going on now, because what's happening now? Ooh, well, you got Feihu. Feihu is movable wealth. It's like the horns of the cattle, isn't it? It's a cattle, represents that. It looks as though you've been coming into money just lately. Maybe the, I don't know why, sort of like I said about the wings of the angel and shielding you, protecting you from harm. Maybe it's money. Oh, not maybe, it is money that's protecting you. Whatever growth, however you've become stronger, even if you become stronger financially, but usually stronger and wiser is more to do with spiritual growth, isn't it? To do with fertility, in the sense of being fertile from a spiritual angle, sort of, and feeling ready to move on in that regard. Coming into money, safe from harm while you're protected. It could be the money. I know I said about the wings of the angel and I thought it may have been somebody from the other side looking out for you. It could be somebody's legacy in that regard, but you would have Othala normally for that. The immovable wealth as opposed to currency, unless they left the house to somebody else and you had a bit of money. I don't know what the crack is there, but certainly there's money involved right now. Money is protecting you in some way, shape or form. If it's somebody who's passed over and it's something to do with them or not, regardless of that, money is protecting you right now after this growth. But I want to move on now just to the next rune here. A bit concerning there. You've got need. Now, as you see, that's how it's supposed to be. If it's a bit like that, it doesn't look quite right, does it? But Gifu is like an X. Well, it's not an X because it doesn't look quite right. But when you do a straight line down and then another line diagonally across from top left to bottom right there, you've got what is called need. And that's how it's supposed to be drawn. Some people haphazardly draw it when they're doing rune magic and wonder why they put a hex on themselves. They think they put in a gift and they do a sort of skew with Gifu, and it actually turns be need and they end up putting themselves in poverty and the whole life screws up. So be careful when you do rune magic, please. But from that, your secrets are safe. Maybe need, of course, can be necessity, can't it, in that regard. We can do 4 runes and see sort of guidance of that, what's happening, what you shouldn't do, what you should do, and what will happen if you follow the guidance. But just for now, we'll just see what this is here, in the sense of the necessity to keep your mouth shut and say nothing. This is what I feel as though whatever money you've come into, it's your affair, it's got nothing to do with other people. I personally have learnt this lesson. In my case, I lent some money, neither a borrower nor a lender be. I suppose we all try and do it sometime in our life and it backfires on us. And mine was a very, very sort of strange thing where it ended up that neighbours were accusing me of putting curses on them and all sorts of things. It became very childish because, I mean, there's no such thing as witches and witchcraft, is there? Come on, let's all grow up. Of course there is. But of course, in the UK, witchcraft has not been illegal since 1951, so we're free to practice, aren't we? But in your case, it's more a case of a necessity to keep your mouth shut, a necessity to keep a secret, because it's a monetary thing, it's to protect you, and of course, darkness protects, doesn't it? You can be protected in the darkness, in the sense if you can navigate through that darkness, if you can work your way through it, you can sort of find, navigate through the darkness. You know what's in the darkness. So if somebody comes after you, like chasing you, say you were in a dark room and somebody was chasing you, you knew where all the furniture was and the light was out. All you have to do is just haphazardly, or not haphazardly, but just casually just walk around, and the person chasing you, they'll trip over the coffee table, smash their head against the cupboard and kill themselves that way, or something like that. So you've got an advantage over them, haven't you? This is why there's power in darkness. Evil resides in the darkness, of course, because it can hide, can't it? But in this case, the only evil, I suppose, may be the potential that being in need after money coming in, somebody may be trying to put you in poverty, take that money off you, say you've got no rights to it or whatever, and whoever's on the other side or whatever is protecting you from that. But not only this need can symbolise, of course, material poverty, being put into need literally. Well, of course, if it's a necessity to keep your mouth shut, the magic works both ways, doesn't it? It sort of foretells of something negative, and yet its magic can be actually the opposite. Can be the magical meaning to it, and you can use it for magic. By putting yourself in need, you can make the magic work stronger, can't you? If you're in need of healing, you'll be healed better than if you don't need healing. You just ask for healing anyway when you don't need it. People who don't need healing won't get healed, but people who do will. And it's a similar sort of thing. In a sense, in this case, there is a necessity to keep your mouth shut, a necessity to keep the secret, and the secret, will the secret be kept? I want to do 4 runes here. I don't know why I'm sort of going on the rune sort of theme here, but I want to do 4 runes. For now, we'll just gather the cards up, and I want to just do like 4 runes. And what we do, the first rune just says about what's happening now with you. And that is Rado there. Rado, about the moving home there, the physical movement. Clearly, you've got that going on there, haven't you? In that regard. So it looks as though, yes, there is the physical movement, the wheel there, or I'll sometimes call it the Thor's chariot, either way. So there is the movement going on, the physical movement, not so much putting the things into motion, which is the horse, the Awaz. Now the next rune, we do like 4, so it's usually done in a cross, but I just do it in a row. It's easy for me to understand, with me not being a rocket scientist. But the next rune tells us depicts of what you shouldn't do. It speaks of what you shouldn't do, and this rune is, oh, you got need again, Luke. Need. Now, bear in mind, we focused on that, just about necessity to keep our mouth shut. But in this regard, it's sort of saying if you want to travel, then make sure that there's. I got a funny feeling as though don't find a need for it. Don't do it because you need. And why I'm thinking that, I don't know. Don't travel if you're in need. I wouldn't say you wouldn't say. Well, if you're in need, don't travel if there's a need. If there's a need to travel, that doesn't make sense, because if there's a need to travel, then you travel. So I've got a feeling as though, although you're travelling now, make sure that you're not in need. Make sure that you're covered for financially for it. I suppose if this was done in the cross, you have what's happening now, and then you have this one at the cross. You have what you shouldn't do, then what you should do, and then what the result there. But I suppose you could say, well, that's what you. So you got these 2 here, in the sense of what's happening now, and then of course, which is the movement. And then, of course, what you shouldn't do is travel without money or travel in need. If you understand the meaning, that's what I'm getting from that. What must you do? The next rune tells you what you should do instead. That's why I normally do it in a row, instead of placing the next one there and then the ultimate result there. We'll do that later. So what I'll do, I'll just do it in a row. Just so I understand it, because that's how I always do it normally. What's happening, of course, now is the travelling and that and whatever. Just bring it a bit closer so you can see it there, I think. And then that is, of course, what you mustn't do. Make sure you're not in need. Instead, you've got Akyra, which is inheritance, the ancestral home. I would sometimes view that as like a little path going up to the house, if you can see that. Well, it looks like that to me anyway. But that's what it talks about inheritance, about immovable wealth. Not money as in cash. Ah, now we are coming clearer. It's sort of getting clearer for me. It's not about cash here. It's about you'll be in need of somewhere to live. Yes, you must seek what's yours in the sense of what you're to inherit. That's understandable, isn't it? Whatever you are to inherit there. But of course, with the physical movement now, do not find yourself or put yourself in need of somewhere to live or whatever. Immovable wealth, of course, is a home, isn't it? And given the fact that you're moving home there, make sure that there is a home. See, if you get what I mean, make sure that there is a home, movable wealth, because that isn't just inheritance. It can be inheritance, like inheriting illnesses or inheriting money from grandma or anything when she passes away. But it can also, of course, just be immovable wealth, whereas Fehu, the cattle, is the movable wealth, the money that you buy the property with. That is the property, the immovable wealth, like homes, cars, and clothing, I suppose, to some degree. Because you don't go shop and buy a loaf of bread and say, I'll give you half a shoe. Can you change your heel? You don't do that sort of thing, do you? Whereas, well, I suppose these days you can release equity, can't you, from a property? But nevertheless, it's immovable wealth. So it's really saying, make sure that there is a home. Do not move. If you're moving property, you're moving home now, or you're travelling, physically travelling, do not travel in need. Do not travel in need. Do not be in need. Make sure you've got something or somewhere to go, because that's saying make sure there's somewhere to go. Have somewhere, in the sense if it was there, it'd be don't have somewhere. Move, but don't have anywhere to move to, which would be ridiculous. But it's just saying, if you're moving, of course, which you are doing, make sure the advice is do not find yourself in need of somewhere to live or somewhere to move to, in the sense it's saying have somewhere to move to instead. I suppose try and secure the property before you travel even. If you follow the guidance, which is the next rune now, the final rune now, that's the positive result. You read it in the positive if you follow the guidance. So for example, in this particular case, the positive, the good news is, yes, you've got the pear throw there, which is, when you look at it like that, it's a bit like a cup, isn't it? And that's because it's the cup that they put the dice in. But you read it on each side like that. It's read sideways, isn't it? As you can see it there. So I always just turn it round there and see it from as I'm viewing it. So really, it's that, isn't it, in the sense that you're moving. Do not move in need of somewhere to live. Find somewhere to live, in the sense of immovable wealth. Have immovable wealth. Do not be in need of it. And then, of course, yes, it will be a risk worth taking. A risk worth taking, because that means gamble, as in casting lots. It can be secrets revealed as well. Maybe a secret will be revealed. But also it can be casting lots into saying it's a risk worth taking. It's saying if you're going to take a risk when you're travelling, don't take a risk with it being with somewhere to live. If you've got somewhere to live, somewhere to put your feet up, roof over your head, and food in your belly, pot to piss in, and all that sort of thing, you're doing okay. You can take that gamble with, say, your career, for example. If you want to get another job, you can take that risk and try and find another job, providing you've got somewhere to go home to at the end of the day. But if you leave a need, in the sense of you decide to rent a flat or something until you can get somewhere, don't do it. Now, if you do not follow the guidance, in the sense of you do what you're not supposed to do and you leave in need, and you end up renting a property or kipping out at somebody who tries to find a friend, and then they end up falling out with them and they kick you out, then of course you won't, and you sort of don't, follow that, and you leave in need, and what you should do is, of course, to have somewhere to stay, or somewhere of your own to stay, or whatever. But either way, it could be somewhere to rent, I suppose, but if it's somewhere of your own you can stay, and you don't have anywhere to stay, then of course you are taking a gamble, and that gamble will not pay off. Do you see how it works? So to follow the guidance is, yes, to travel, which is what you're doing, but do not put yourself in need, unnecessary need, I suppose, and it's to do with property. Now, I of course did say don't rent, buy, but of course if you can't buy, at least get a secure rent, something that's covered so they can't kick you out that easily. I didn't mean it's sort of, I mean obviously it's technical to that degree, isn't it, to some degree, but if you can have somewhere of your own, of course, all the better. But if you are maybe just saying find a property to rent instead of kipping out in your car until you can find somewhere, because you might find yourself sleeping in your car all the time, and that will be the gamble that doesn't pay off. So it could work that way as well. So there's loads of ways that's working. I want to now pull out some more. We say blessed be to Odin and all the Norse gods for that guidance. Very enlightening. Well, I suppose really to some degree it is common sense, isn't it, I suppose, but it just helps bring out that common sense, and it just provides not so much the answer, but an answer that would sort of make sense. I don't know, I just want to somehow just briefly now, before we close the setting here, just to consult your animal spirits, just to see, we ask just on behalf there, concerning the situation, we just ask for brief guidance about this move, and about the risks that are ahead there. We ask in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to Raven and all the power animal spirits who guide, heal and protect. And we just pull out, I'll just pull out 3 cards just to sort of get a sort of brief overview. Yeah, authority in the sense of, okay, you got the moose there, just indicating that you know what's best for you, in the sense, you know, you don't kip out and you sleep out in your car, hoping you get somewhere and finding that there's nowhere. You try and find somewhere to rent first, or if it's to do with buying, you don't rent, you buy instead. And then you're not like a slave to the landlord or whatever. Either way, it's an unnecessary. Do not take unnecessary risks. That was the lesson that Odin gave us, and it seems to say, Moose seems to be saying, notice Moose is a 4-legged creature, 4-legged one. The 4-legged ones walk the earth, so they protect. So Moose is really protecting you, just saying you've got the authority. You're the one who has to make the decision, really. But you know what you're after, in the sense, you know what's best for you. What you want and what you get are 2 totally separate things. But you know what you need, don't you? You know what's best. Notice there the snake, just saying that you're a healer, a healing process taking place now. Maybe the travelling, maybe you feel you're travelling to move away, whether you're going on about love, maybe you're moving away from a lover, just so you're not in the sight, so you don't see them in the streets every day or in the shops every day, or bump into them as you're out or whatever. And maybe it's a healing process in that sense, but you are the healer. Maybe you are a healer in that sense, like in sort of a care worker or something like that, maybe. And of course Snake is there to provide you with the change and help, not I suppose help you heal, maybe to help you heal, but either way, somehow getting this feeling is maybe it's a care worker in the sense you are the healer here. You know what's best for you, so you can heal you. Maybe you want to heal others as well. But of course, why I'm still thinking that love affair in the sense of healing yourself of past hurt. It could be a combination of both, by you helping others, either caring for others in whatever capacity, whether if it's hospitality or if it's like health, like caring for people, nursing people or whatever. Maybe you're somehow paying a penance for something you feel you should, I don't know. Let's just see what the immediate future is there. Well, not so much immediate future, but we just join them together, don't we? Yeah, you got Fox there. That's usually represents magic, but adaptability in a sense, really, you just got to really adapt to the changes that are going on around you, that are taking place there. So I suppose from the past, where you had, I suppose with even these cards here, where your past was the strength and wisdom. Maybe the strength and wisdom is literally that, with the growth of the Ingus, just saying that you know what's best for you, and of course the shield that protects you, other than Moose protecting you recently, the shield that protects you is the healing, the energy of healing. Maybe the angel I saw in the shield there, the wings of the angel, the message and the protection. Maybe it's something to do with that, I don't know, but that's the healing sort of energy. But I'm sort of picking up on love here. I don't know why I'm picking on like love, but where the energy of the wyvern said your secrets were safe, and how you had the need, although the need is what you should really not be putting yourself in, but it is foretold for the immediate future. But you are advised not to put yourself in need. Adapt to the situation instead. Adapt, shapeshift. Adapt to the situation. Dress the same way as others. Maybe change your mannerisms, the way you dress, and whatever, according to your surroundings, to blend in, and that way. You may not be taking unnecessary risks. Yes, it's nice to be yourself, but by blending in, yes, you can be invisible. At the same time as watch others. Remember, a fox can see you, but you can't see him most of the time, and that's the key to it. If you adapt and you shapeshift, you'll be able to watch them. You'll be able to keep your secrets, with the necessity to keep your secrets, but nevertheless keep yourself out of need, although the need is foretold. Maybe it's the necessity to keep the secrets as well as, but don't take unnecessary risks by putting yourself in need. If you're travelling there, don't put yourself by taking unnecessary risks by putting yourself in need. Have somewhere to move to. If it's somewhere of your own, then let it be somewhere of your own, don't rent it. But of course, if putting yourself in need means sleeping in your car until you find somewhere to rent, then get somewhere to rent. Get somewhere you can establish yourself, of course. And the risk does come, but it will be good news, in the sense it'll be a risk worth taking, because you'll be in a safe position to take that risk. But it will be an unnecessary negative risk if you're in need, of course, there. And if you don't adapt, of course, and if you don't heal from past hurts, and if you ignore what's best for you, you know what's best for you, you are a healer, and you must adapt to the changes that are about to take place. So with that, I think we've sort of like drained that of its energy, really, haven't we, to some degree. I hope that's been of some help anyway. It's a bit like a bit of an epic, really, hasn't it, that? So I think I better go and put the cap on again, because my coffee's going to go cold again. So with that, I think, of course we say blessed be to Odin, the runes have spoken, and of course these cards also for you there have also spoken.